What's going on, everybody? Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Here we go. Hold up. Let me give you a little boost here. There we go. Appreciate everybody in here. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes as you guys are rolling in, guys. We are going to be covering uh, a lot of different things happening in the market, guys. Lots of different things happening in the market. So make sure you guys are all tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe. I'm Blockchain Crusader, Crusading Threes Blockchains. It's Saturday morning, and we're going to be coming into the market here to start preparing for what to expect here in the next week, right? There's a lot of things happening in the markets. If you guys are not paying attention, Bitcoin is in the make it or break it phase here. Bitcoin has reached our critical levels of 96 to 98,000 here in the last couple of days. We've gotten rejected off 97,900, and since then we have been pulling back for the last 3 days consistently. We have been pulling back, which is no good, showing that Bitcoin has been getting rejected and that we are starting to lose that area. If Bitcoin cannot flip 98,000 here starting next week, if Bitcoin cannot flip 98,000 in the next week, your altcoins, XRP, and so much more are going to get crushed. So I know all of you guys that are in the XRP community think that all this crazy stuff is going to happen for your XRP coins. They're not. Unless Bitcoin can really start getting above 98,000, closing some dailies, giving us some potential, support there to get a closure of the weekly and the month, because the month is coming to the end here. The month closes out. Let's see. We've still got 2 weeks, so two more Saturdays. Not next Saturday, but the following Saturday will be the last Saturday of the month. So we got 2 extra weeks left to be able to close above 98,000. If we cannot, and we continue pulling back from 98,000, we are heading down between 80,000 to 67,000. What does that mean for your XRP coin, right? If you're out there, all these XRP holders that are just like, what's going on with XRP? What's going on with XRP? Let me tell you what that means for your XRP, right? XRP is currently sitting right at 207. Right at 207, XRP sitting, trying to hold that support band of 205 to 210 area. If that area is lost because Bitcoin begins to actually start pulling back and running for its lower previous month high, its previous month low of $80,000, then we will be looking for XRP to most likely break that support of $2.05 again, since we are in a 6 month downtrend, consistently making lower highs. Going up to 241 was great, but guess what? That made a lower high than what it was making before back in November at 257, and the other higher high was at 269 back in October. So the downtrend is still intact. And if we continue following this downtrend, XRP is going to come back and retest 177. If 177 cannot hold, which it most likely will not hold against Bitcoin if Bitcoin drops from 98,000 to 80,000 here in the next month or so, that will cause XRP to most likely lose 177. If that is the case, we are looking at targets between 149 to as low as 112, 112, ish area for the XRP, right? For all of you XRP holders. And before you come for me in the chat saying, no way, XRP is going to drop that low, you better hope Bitcoin doesn't drop towards that 80,000 again. You better hope that XRP does not drop. Just want to quickly take a moment here. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here in this live stream. Make sure that you smash those likes. Tap up and fill up those like meters over here on TikTok. Fill up those like meters, guys. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get 1,000+ likes. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. David Hedwick says, you're absolutely correct. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to be realistic, right? I'm trying to be realistic. If Bitcoin pulls back, everything pulls back. All altcoins. XRP is not immune to Bitcoin pulling back. So If that is the case with the current level that XRP is at right now, if Bitcoin starts pulling back, all of your altcoins are going to get crushed, which is one of the reasons why I've been saying, everybody keeps asking me what altcoins am I buying right now. I'm not buying any altcoins because buying an altcoin right now is very high risk with Bitcoin literally just starting to get rejected from that $98,000 resistance. That is going to be the make it or break it zone. Will Bitcoin hit 100K within next 2 weeks? What do you think? Well, we need to flip 98,000. If we can get above 98,000, right? So the best case scenario that we have right now is starting to play out. I said it yesterday on my live stream. I said, hey, we're going into the weekend. We've seen that on the weekends, Bitcoin has slowly crawling up towards this previous week high, right? Or towards its current week high. And it's currently doing that right now as we speak. Yesterday, we bottomed out around 94.2. We slowly started crawling up, and now we're currently all the way up at 95.5, having a little bit of a push to the upside here. So we do have some targets, right? We have targets between 95.9 to 96.2. If Bitcoin can continue crawling up, right, before the end of Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time is when the Asia trading session begins. And if Bitcoin can keep crawling from 95.5 back up towards that 97,000 or higher area, we need to be very careful. It's going to be one or two things, right? We're going to be very close to our what is going to be our previous week high, right? Once the week closes on the Sunday at 7 p.m., the current high for this week is 97,874. That will become our previous week high. We still have a 6 month untapped average and a quarter four untapped average between 97.9 and 98,000. With the previous week high being right below that, as the beginning of the next week here, if Bitcoin goes up towards those levels and sweeps it, right, has a liquidity sweep of those levels and gets rejected, I will personally be taking a large short position, betting that we are going to drop lower. Now, if that liquidity sweep does not happen and Bitcoin actually starts to flip $98,000 into support, what do I mean by support? We need to start closing dailies, right? We need to start closing hourlies at first, 1 hour, 4 hours. Then you need to start looking for a daily close, right? And obviously start building more days. And as we get through the end of the week, if we can close a full week above 98, that is showing us strength on Bitcoin. And we got 2 weeks left in January. So if we can close out the month of January above 98, we have a very good chance of running for 105 to 111,000 before going towards an all-time high in 2026. Most likely going to be between the ending of quarter one and quarter two. So that is my target right now for Bitcoin if we can flip 98. But like I said, major warning, right? Major warning. So I want everybody to listen up very closely here. If we see that sweep happen on Monday of 98,000, be careful because it could get ugly very fast. It could get ugly very fast. So let me jump back here into the chat. John Frost in the house. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. I appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Appreciate all of you guys here in hanging out. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes, filling up those like meters. Guys, if you guys are new here, I'm Blockchain Crusader, and I crusade through these blockchains every single day. I run my own private trading group where I post all my analysis. And you might be saying, Crusader, I'm not a trader, bro. That doesn't really bother me. But let me tell you, it's not about trading. The group is not just about trading. Yes, trading is one of the main activities we do in there, but the group is about analyzing data. I know that a lot of you guys have 9 to 5 jobs, that you don't have time to learn to be traders, to learn to be technical analysts, right? But you need the information because without the data, you don't know where the markets are going, and you're at the mercy of content creators jumping on their lives and asking, are we going up? Are we going down? And when there's FOMO, they're going to always tell you we're going higher. When there's panic, they're always going to tell you we're going lower, right? And it's never actually valid because they're just going based off feelings. So if you want to start analyzing data and being able to strategically dollar cost average, if you're tired of buying every single dip and running out of money and then it continues dipping, just because you're not analyzing data, guys, and you want to start analyzing data, make sure you're joining the Crypto Citadel. The Crypto Citadel, my private group, it's not just about trading, it's also about long term game planning for analyzing data to see where the market is going. What is the market trend? What is the structure of the market right now? Are we going up? Are we going down into the future? What are targets? What are resistance? Right? Where is the support? So make sure you're joining the Crypto Citadel. The Crypto Citadel right now, it is, you can get $51 off every single month of your lifetime of your membership with the code 99. With the code 99, you will get $51 off every single month of the lifetime of your membership, putting you in that 99 club tier. 99 club tier, guys. So it doesn't get cheaper than that. That makes the group literally $3 a day, guys. $3 a day to be in there. John Frost says, I got a question, sir. What exact schedule time for Ondo token unlock and the possible movement on the chart? Thanks. So I don't know the actual token unlock. I think it was supposed to be somewhere between the 17th and the 22nd, something like that. So I'm not 100% sure on the Ondo token unlock. Now, obviously, massive token unlocks can definitely hurt the coin in the short term. It makes it a lot more difficult as well to reach major all-time highs. So Ondo, let me actually pull up my Ondo chart here. Ondo has been in a very steep downtrend. We're currently sitting at 39 cents. If we start to lose 35 cents, we're looking at targets between 22 to 17 cents to the downside. Now, obviously, with Bitcoin pulling back, if Bitcoin does pull back, I expect that as well. So I don't really think the token unlock right now is going to cause a lot of panic because Ondo is already at a major low, right? It's already at a major low. It's not like, oh, everybody's gonna unlock their tokens and just start dumping Ondo. They're probably gonna be waiting for a significant pump of some kind. So that being said, the only problem with the token unlock is it makes reaching all-time highs more difficult because there's more circulation, right? There's more supply in circulation. So realistic targets for Ondo is if we do have a rally, if Bitcoin does flip $98,000 and starts running higher, we are looking for targets between 55 to about 67 to get us above into the 2025 yearly range. Once we're above 65 cents and we're inside the yearly range of 2025, we have targets between 75 cents to 98 cents. Right? 98 cents is a very, very realistic target, especially if you're buying Ondo down at 39 cents. If we measure that move out from where we are right now to 98 cents, that is a total of 148% move. That is fantastic. That is a fantastic move. I wouldn't bet on a pullback in these conditions. Hold on. Let's see. Hold up. Do you think it's gonna go keep pumping, no pullback? Wait, who thinks it's gonna keep pumping with no pullback? Somebody talking about I buy AVAX, $42. We'll be back. AVAX, please. We'll cover AVAX in just a second here. What about silver? Should we short it? Sergio, a Crypto Citadel member in the house. Good to see you, brother. So silver, going on over to silver. We'll circle back to AVAX and we'll look at things like, I know a lot of people in silver are just thinking that it's up only city. The U.S. Mint just stopped printing some silver, minting silver or whatever, and it's just gonna go up higher and higher and higher. Let me tell you, the faster it goes up, the faster it's gonna come down. I know people don't want to hear that. And I see people in my chat all the time. Oh, you see, you made a video when it was at $80, and I was warning people about a high, and now it's at $90. It's higher. And it's like, guys, I'm not saying 88 is the top. I'm just saying we're approaching a top. We can go higher for silver. Silver has targets between 113 to 120, right? We can go higher for silver. But that doesn't mean that this is the best time to be buying. You're still buying near a very close top. People that are saying that are people that were buying silver when they were 20 bucks, right? When silver was at $20, $4. Oh yeah, man, I'll buy more silver now. I don't care. But people that have no silver and are running to the stores to buy silver now at $90, you're going to be buying at premiums because of the shortage, right? And then when you go sell, No one's gonna buy it at spot price. They're all gonna buy it for a discount price. They're always gonna take 2-3% off the top, right, or more, and it's always gonna be a problem. And then once everybody starts actually selling, that's where the real problems begin. So, taking a look at silver here, right? Let's just take a quick look at silver here. Silver is currently at $90.18. Right, we got a boatload of targets down to the downside, but you know, silver is on the climb. It's climbing, it's climbing, it's climbing. Nothing but up, right? But let's just do some basic. Let's do some. Actually, yeah. Let me go jump over here to this chart over here. There we go. This is the chart that I wanted. All right, here we go. Give me a second, guys. I gotta put this in logarithmic because this thing is huge. All right, this is all the silver history. Right, all the way from back in the 80s. Right, last time we topped out was in the 80s. And if we actually look on the yearly candles, all right, let's look here on the yearly candles. Very simple thing here. In 1979, once silver started to drop below its previous year high, right? The high was $27.80. Once we started to close below that, it was dump city. Same thing happened in 2010. 2010, we made a high of around, what is it? $30.62. In 2011, we went higher. We went up to $46. We went $16 higher. Whoa, right? But I'm sure lots of people were buying at 30. The minute we started closing below 30.89, right below that high, we started to struggle. We could not reclaim. We started to swing fail that price for a few years back in 2011, 2012, and then finally in 2013, the resistance, you know, broke the support, and silver started to dump from $30 all the way to its low price of 12 bucks in 2020. So, once again, right now we are above the previous year high. Right? The previous year high is sitting. Let me actually get rid of this right here. Let me get rid of this fib extension. Perfect. Our previous year high is currently sitting right at $83.75. The minute we start seeing silver closing below $83.75 weekly, daily, monthly, whatever, that is the top signal. That is going to start showing you that, silver's in trouble. Now, can silver go higher than this? Can silver go higher? Let's get an extension here. Let's get an extension from its lows back in 1991 to the highs of 2011, back down to the lows of 2020, right? Can we go higher? Yeah, we have a target all the way up at 167, the one-to-one move on that definitely can be a target. 167, we're currently at 90. But be careful. Be careful. So far, silver has never extended that much further. So if we do some quick measurement here, from previous highs, right? So from the 1979 high to the top of 1980, it had a 71% move. Had a 71% move going from $27.51 all the way up to about $47. Okay, now let's measure out the high from 2010, right, to the high of 2011. It pumped 61%. So 71, 61%. Okay, let's make that same estimate movement from the highs, right, from the highs of $83. If we move, let me turn my magnet off. If we move another 60%, we reach about 135. We're talking about 135 to the upside, moving 61%. We push it to 71, about 142. So between 135 to 142, right, and then we have the one-to-one fib extension all the way up at what, 167. So between 135 to 167, that is a pretty decent area to be looking for a top, right? Between 135 to 167, that is going to be a very significant top if we extend that high. We don't have to extend that high, right? We could extend lower. We don't have to have such a high extension, but you know, you never know. Just in case. Just in case. We're looking at 135 to 167 from where we currently are. So if you're buying silver today at $90, you have to be extremely aggressive on taking profits. But I know that the grand majority of people that are buying silver right now, oh, I'm not selling until silver is 500 bucks. I'm not selling until silver is 300 bucks. I'm not selling until silver is 200 bucks. But you might not get that. You most likely won't get it. But the FOMO on the news is that everything is being repriced. Everything is gonna go to the moon. It's gonna go so much higher. Nobody is talking about the pullbacks. Everyone's talking about higher, 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 higher for silver, and nobody talks about pullbacks. Like everything has pullbacks. Gold has had pullbacks, right? We are in the everything bubble right now. Everything. Let me show you this, guys. Let me show you this. So I found this post here that was very, very interesting, and I love sharing it and paying attention to it because it is the everything bubble. Give me a second here to find it. It's just going to show you how literally everything is at record highs. Everything is at record highs, and this is when everyone is the most bullish, right? Yes, we can go higher, but be very careful. Even with Bitcoin going much higher, there's gonna be pullbacks, guys. There will be pullbacks along the way. Yes, there can be another blow off top for Bitcoin, but you have to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive and have a game plan. If you're waiting for those highs to then start game planning, it's too late for you. So look, this is the post right here. Stocks record high, gold record high, silver record high, home prices record high, copper record high, platinum record high, money market funds record high. We got U.S. debt record high, deficit spending record high, household debt record high. So how can we be making all these record highs around all markets and people still think that we're up only? We're up only. We're never pulling back, guys. There will be a pullback. There will be a crash in the market. There will be a reset. You do not go up forever, right? You do not go up forever. The reason why this is happening is because fiat currencies are depreciating, right? Fiat currencies are depreciating. So, and everyone's argument is like, well, that's right. Fiat currencies are depreciating. That's why I'm buying more silver. Silver is going to keep going up higher forever. But at some point, people take profits. At some point, the bubble pops and everything that's going higher will crash. Everything in the 1920s was going higher and higher. The stock market was just stronger and stronger until 1929 came around and everything came down tumbling and it crashed, right? And we had the Great Depression. The Great Depression, something that most people don't pay attention to or ever listen to or don't want to hear about, but and think, oh, that would never happen again. That's when it's most likely going to happen. And we are doing all the same things that were happening back in the 1920s. We're making all types of record highs, and everyone is thinking that they're going higher and higher and higher and higher. And that's when the house of cards comes crashing down. That's when the house of cards starts crashing down. All right, let's get back here into the chat. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. They took screenshots only instead of profits from precious metals. Yeah, man, the precious metals guys, right? The people that you think are the well-sounded investors, right? The well-sounded investors that are very patient, are acting just like the meme coin investors. I'm buying more. I'm buying more. Why would you be buying more at $90? Because it can go up another 60% to 170 to 165, maybe 130. But those people are not looking at charts. Those people are not looking at data. They're reading headlines. They're seeing that their silver portfolio is pumping, and now they're acting like degens saying, I'm buying more forever. I'm buying more forever. Bruh. Are you guys not looking? I can tell they don't look at charts. Why? Because if they look at the silver chart, every time silver's had a top, it's taken 10 to 20 years for it to bottom out. So when it topped out in 1980, it didn't bottom until 1993, 13 years later. Then silver rallied again, right? From 1993, slowly it went sideways for 10 years until 2003. In 2003, it rallied all the way to 2011, topped out again, and then when it topped out from 2011 to 2020, 9 years before it bottomed. 9 years before it bottomed. So if you're buying silver now at $90, looking for that 167, fantastic. Make your money. Let's go. Make your money, right? But take those profits, because if you don't, if you're buying silver at $90, $100, and you don't plan on taking profits between 135 to 167, if we even get that high, right? You're already buying a local top. You're a very high risk position. You should be very aggressive at taking profits, and I know they won't. I know they won't, because they're not looking at data, they're not looking at charts, and they're going to be buying a top, and then that thing's going to dump on them for the next 10 years. For the next 10 years, they're going to be in the red. They're going to be in the red. Watch, you'll see all the comments. Oh, I should have sold. Oh, I should have listened. Oh, I should have, would have, could have, did have, blah, 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 blah. Guys, start reading charts. Start reading charts. Start analyzing data on these charts. It's not just for Bitcoin. It's not just for crypto. It goes through the entire markets. Silver, gold, all the commodities, stocks, whatever. Start analyzing data. Start being realistic of potential targets, resistance, and looking at the patterns on the chart and see like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. Why would I be buying a top right now? Why would I be buying a top? And this is what I'm telling you, trying to teach people in the Crypto Citadel is how to do this. Can you move to the side for 10 seconds so I can see the chart? There's no chart behind me, guys. It's just bubbles. There's no chart behind me. Let's see here. The precious metals law was just implemented. Financial institutions can no longer trade in paper. Okay, cool. They can't trade in paper. They'll create some other type of derivative. I don't know. I don't know what the actual stakes of that law is, right, Sharky? So we don't know. But we do know that they don't have it, right? Just like they didn't have all the gold. That's why they got off the gold standard back in 1971. We got off the gold standard because we didn't have the gold in the vaults, guys. We didn't have the gold. We didn't have it, and we didn't want to give it back. The gold that we did have, we didn't want to give it back. We had all the countries around the world, like France and all these others, give us their gold to put in our vaults, and then we got off the gold standard. We got off the gold standard, so their dollars that could be redeemed for gold said, hey, guys, it's no longer back, so you can't redeem your dollars for gold anymore. And we stole the world's gold. We stole the world's gold. And since then, nobody's ever seen it. Nobody's ever seen it since then. So these institutions, like I said, I'm not fully aware of what that law implications are, but knowing the way the institutions think, they will create some type of creative strategy to continue doing what they're doing, right? Silver futures, this, that, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and find a way to trade assets that are not the assets, that are a derivative of the asset, that is a synthetic version of the asset, to not have to hold it and still trade it. Let's see here. Paul Sampson in the house. Crusader, the temperature in Florida is dumping. What are you doing, dude? I'm cozy, bro. I got my my nice little robe on. I got my little doohickey on my head, and I am chilling, dude. It is cold out there. I ain't going outside. I'm like a groundhog. I ain't going outside until spring comes. I don't go outside when it's cold. 1991, my birth year was silver's bottom. I held it up for you all. Let's go, Paul. Let's go. Swang failed. What's going on? Silver to gold was 12-to-1 ratio, and now it's way off. Silver will go a lot higher very soon. Dave, it doesn't have to. Everyone is saying, oh, because the ratios were this back then. It's always been this type of ratio, so it has to keep that type of. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. It'd be great. It'd be great if it did, and maybe it does. But going off of that assumption that just because something, a ratio existed back in the day, that we have to keep that same ratio now is not sound thought process. It's not a sound thought process for an investor. It just isn't, guys. It just isn't. So I appreciate everybody in here tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe. We'll talk more about silver if we need to. Let's get back over to crypto. Let's get back over to Bitcoin and the altcoins. So make sure you're dropping your altcoins into the chat, right? Make sure you're dropping your altcoins into the chat. I'm going to take a little sip of water here. Which coin should I trade now? Papio! Let me tell you, brother. Trading, you can trade anything, right? If you're trading futures, you can trade any asset. If you're talking about trading like on spot, be very careful what altcoins you're buying right now because Bitcoin has been getting rejected at that 98. Now, if Bitcoin gets full on rejected next week at 98, which is our best case scenario for our last opportunity to enter a short on Bitcoin, if we get that liquidity sweep, it's game over. It's a wrap, right? Bitcoin will most likely be dumping down further and throughout quarter 1. And if that is the case, your altcoins are going to get crushed. Now, if Bitcoin can start closing a monthly, potentially a quarterly, above 98,000, we're going to be looking at very, very bullish price action for Bitcoin, which will continue to drag the altcoins up, which would be great for the altcoins. John Frost says, is it good to open long for Bitcoin now or better to wait? Guys, it's the weekend. It's very low volume, right? If you were going to enter a long, it should have been yesterday when we were coming down to the weekly VWAP and we started bouncing off of it. We started holding the weekly VWAP and the previous month high between 94.6 to about 94.450. That was the area to be looking for a long to bounce back up. At this point in time, it's better to just wait it out. Let the pump happen if it's going to happen, right, over the weekend and wait for that potential sweep of 98,000. If the sweep happens, we're looking for shorts. If we get the flip and we start closing hourlies to dailies above 98, we're looking for a long to keep going up higher. But if remember, that's a higher risk trade now. That's a higher risk trade. Just arrived. What's your opinion? Up a little, down a lot. 100 to 107, down to 50 to 670. So, guys, I do believe, right, we're going to get potentially, hopefully, another try on 98. I've been warning you guys about 96 to 98,000 for Bitcoin for weeks. We came up to it. I really thought we were going to, we were coming up pretty aggressively. I did expect a little bit of a higher push above 98 to get people a little extra excited and then pull it back down. But we actually front ran our targets of 98,000. We came up to about 99, about 97.8. Very close by 200 bucks, and then we started pulling back and never revisited that area. So if we do not flip 98, Bitcoin has a chance of dropping down between 80 to 67,000. We have to readjust, right? Reanalyze as we approach 80. Are we going to hold 80 as support, right? Or are we going to lose it? If 80 gets lost, we're looking for 67. Now, that doesn't mean it's the end of the world for Bitcoin at that point in time, right? Different opportunities will present themselves. If you're trading futures, you can make a lot of money on the way down. Now, if we flip 98, things get very, very bullish. So if we pass 98, we flip bullish, but bearish at the moment. Yes, that's a pretty simple take on it. Yes. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate all you guys over here. Make sure you guys keep tapping those likes, smashing those likes, sharing out the live over here as well. Make sure you guys are filling up those like meters. I greatly appreciate everybody in here. If you're not already in my trading group, in my if you're not in the Crypto Citadel, my private trading group, and if you're not a trader, you're more than welcome to join so you can start analyzing data. I know a lot of you guys are working 9-to-5 jobs. You guys don't have the time to be analyzing data, to be reading charts. That's what the service I provide for you guys. I read the charts, I make the analysis, and I post it for you guys to have it. Whatever altcoin you request, whatever coin at any point, any time frame, macro, short term, day trade, whatever, I will make the analysis and post it for you. That is the most basic, essential service for everybody joining. Now, you can move on beyond the analysis and start day trading as well. I have a full 1 hour and 36-minute trading course. I have trade signals. We do live trading sessions that you can come and join and follow along with my trades and all of that on top of it. But if you're not reading charts, if you're just spending all your time on people's live streams asking questions, hoping they answer your question, hoping that they give you the answer you're looking for, and you're not just going based off data that you can read on your own, right? You're just hoping that whoever you're listening to is correct. Is correct. But instead, what you should be doing is analyzing your own data, then listening to other people, see what they think is going to happen, and see how your analysis in your mind compares to theirs. Does it conflict? Are they completely wrong? Are you not seeing something that they're seeing? Or are they not seeing something that you're seeing that is saying, hey, we are pulling back? And these are all the kind of questions you need to be asking yourself and contemplating to be able to understand where these markets are going. But you can only do that once you can start reading charts. Dave Digital in the house. What's going on? Let me borrow that robe, hoodie, fuzzy sweater. Good to see you, Dave Digital, man. Long time no see. Good to see you. Let's see here. Quant. Somebody wants to look at Quant. Let's go take a look at Quant. Quant. So Quant has had a nice little rally today. Pushed all the way up to 84.85. Very nice. Hit our previous quarter low of $86. We currently have pulled back. We're back at $80 again. Not great. We don't want to be losing and dropping below 78. That will kick us out of the previous year value area low range. Right? We need to stay above this $86 area. Getting above $86 gives us the opportunity to run for its yearly NPOC at 100. So we have targets between 100 to 110 if we can flip $86. But if we get this nasty rejection, right, we came all the way up to the upper band of the downtrend, hit the previous month EQ, hit the yearly average, and got rejected and is pulling back. If we start closing below 78, Quant could be pulling back lower towards the $68 to $65 region again. So be very careful. VeChain. Somebody wants to take a look at VeChain. Let's go take a look at VeChain. So VeChain, has been in the dumpster fire, right? Straight down, nothing but down. Don't pass go and collect 200, go straight to jail kind of thing, right? So VeChain has been in a massive dump city ever since October 10th with the liquidation event, right? We were at like 2.5 cents, dump city, and we've come as low as that liquidation event and even lower. So our previous quarter low is 0.0095. We're currently sitting at 0.012. Targets to the upside here that we need to start moving and getting above are 0.017. 0.017 puts us back into the yearly range. Once we get back into the yearly range, we have targets at 2.5 cents, right? 2.5 cents is the next big move. So if we measure out those moves right now, right? If we measure out those moves, measuring out that move from where we are to 0.017 is a 40% move to its main target around 2.5 cents. It is 105% move to the upside. So those are the targets here for VeChain. Obviously, if VeChain keeps pulling back, we're looking for that previous quarter low of 0.0095. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate all you guys smashing those likes and that subscribe. Make sure you're joining the Crypto Citadel if you haven't already. For everybody that's asking about it in the chat that I see, the link is in the profile. Go on over to the profile. Use the code 99 and you will be getting $51 off your monthly membership for the lifetime of your membership. You will be getting $51 off every single month with the code 99, putting you back into the tier of 99, right? The 99 club. You'll be back in the 99 club. A lot of people were very interested in the 99 club. I pushed the price up higher to 149, and now I'm bringing it back to you guys, giving you guys one last opportunity. If you guys have been interested in getting into the Crypto Citadel, but you're just saying, man, that 149 is just way too rich for me. I just can't get there. I can't do it, but I really want to join. I really want to get in there. I want to start learning. I want to start charting. I want to start trading. I want to start doing all these things, but I just can't get to 149. Now is your opportunity. January 2026, the year just started. Now is the time to invest in yourself and take the leap. Use the code 99 when signing up, and you're going to be getting $51 off every single month for the lifetime of your membership. The link is in the profile. If you're watching over on YouTube, the link will be down in the description of the video. On TikTok, it's on over in the profile. Make sure you take advantage of that while that code is available. Bitcoin Cash TA, let's go. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is actually looking pretty bullish, man. It's been doing, oops, the wrong chart. Bitcoin Cash. Oh my gosh, where's my Bitcoin Cash chart, man? All right, here we go. So Bitcoin Cash came up to about $669, faced a little bit of resistance, made a little bit of a double top here on the daily, dropped back down to our point of control for the 2025 yearly range around 596. We're currently at 597 right now. We need to get back above, which is a healthy retracement, nothing wrong with that at all. If we can start closing dailies back above 606, get back into that $600 range, get out of the 2025 yearly range to the upside, we will be looking for targets around 704 to about $844 for Bitcoin Cash to the upside. Now, if Bitcoin Cash continues to play around and continue pulling back lower into the 2025 yearly range, right, because we're currently sitting above it, our targets to the downside are between 564 to potentially 499 before things getting really ugly and dropping into the low 400s. So meanwhile, we stay above 561. We can come back, hit those targets, bounce off the lower band of the uptrend, of the yearly uptrend that we're in, and still stay bullish. But once we start losing 561 and lower, we could be in trouble for Bitcoin Cash to the downside. On arrival with the super chat, greatly appreciated, brother. Howdy. Any chance you can give some insight on Zora? It pumped a bit when then dumped back down. Was it for Zora outside of Bitcoin determinations? All right, so I know Zora is one that a lot of people have been talking about online. I'd be very careful when all these content creators start talking about one coin, right? I know Zora has something to do with the Coinbase app and everything that they're doing over there. So let's do some chart analysis here. There's enough data here to do a little bit of chart analysis. So let's do it. Let me turn this off. So let me chart this out for you guys. Let's get quarter four. Well, let's get the last 6 months of 2025. And okay. Let's get 6 months. All right. Where is it? Here we go. Let's get a quarterly. Okay. Let's get a bi-monthly. Okay. All right, so Zoro right now is sitting. Actually, let me get the Fibonacci extension here for potential support zones to the downside. Give me a second. Almost done. Mm. All right. Cool. So right now we're trying to find some support here, right? We're sitting around 0.036 for Zora. We are below the 2025 yearly range for Zora. We need to get above zero point 0.04 4.5 cents. We need to get above 4.5 cents for Zora to re-enter the previous 6 month range. Entering the previous 6 month range, we have targets between 6 cents to about 8 cents to the upside of untapped targets, which if we measure out those moves from where we are, just to get back into the yearly range is a 26% move. To the yearly MPOC is a 63% move, and to its biggest target around zero point 0.0, about around 8 cents, is a 116% move to the upside. Now, to the downside, if we continue pulling back, right, if we lose the support here around 0.034, 3.5 cents, let's call it, if we start losing that support, we could be dropping to as low as 0.018. That is our next big target. That is our one-to-one fib extension to the downside. So be very careful with that, right? Be very, very careful. If we go take a look at Zora's market cap, right? Zora is a $164 million market cap. Pretty small market cap overall. It's down 17% on the month, only up 2.3%, 2.7% on the day. So small market cap, very volatile, high risk, high reward, but be very careful. I'd be extremely, extremely careful. I would not be making this a large position at all. If you're going to be getting into this, obviously not financial advice, it would be an extremely small position for me, a few $100 maybe. Really depends on what a small position is to you, right? Everyone has different different position sizes depending on how much income they make and how much money they make overall. So I just be extremely, extremely careful with this. I'm personally not involved in it, don't really know much about it, but I would be very, very careful. Good morning. Thoughts on Clash? Clash, is that the meme coin from George R. Us? I only see your crypto bubbles, by the way. I can't see anything else. I know you can't see the chart on Rivaled. I'm just breaking it down for you. I'm on my mobile phone live, so I can't really, share my chart, unfortunately. But yeah. Uh, let's go take a look at Clash. See if I can find a chart for this thing. So we have a few months of data here for Clash. Let's get October 1st to the end of December. So we're currently above the quarter 4 range for Clash, right? We're currently sitting at 0.047. Hopefully, I'm looking at the right one. The value area high for that was 0.034. We're above that. While we stay above 0.034, we should be good, right? Next target here to the upside is around 5.5 cents. Above that, we're looking at 8 cents to around 9 cents to the upside. Um, Not a lot of data, not a lot we can go based off of here. Just pure market structure. We're still making lower highs. Once we start getting above that 7 cent area, then we're definitely looking for a potential new high here for Clash. Good to see all of you guys in here, smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. You see Bitcoin going to 146. So if Bitcoin does flip 98,000, right? If Bitcoin does flip 98,000 into support, then there is a chance that we run for a new all-time high in 2026. If we break that 120 to 120, the 126 all-time high, I am targeting somewhere around the 135 to 150. 135 to 150. Got a question on a holding I have. Sammy, go ahead, send it. What's your take on Vinci? I currently only hold 550 shares. Was wondering, should I add more? Is that a stock or is that a coin? A Vinci, $48 million market cap. Very small market cap. Very high risk here. Um, as I can tell already, extremely high risk with the very small market cap. I don't know anything about this project. Chart here, most yeah, has like a month worth of data here on the chart at most. So not a lot of data at all. Oh, it's a stock. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So I'm not looking at the right one. Perfect. Let's go take a look at the actual stock then. So it's called Vici Properties. Okay, yes, I see it here. Um, it's a tokenized stock. It's also on. Okay. Oof. No, not this chart. Give me London Stock Exchange. Eesh. Trying to find a good chart here for this thing. Give me a second here. Trying to find the chart for it. Hmm. Okay, the best chart that I was able to find is actually tokenized on what you call it on Polygon, not Polygon, on Solana on Pyth. I can't find any other good charts. All the other charts are there's like a relatively new stock. They own all the casino properties operating on 30 to 50-year leases. It's under 1% of my portfolio. Sammy, where is this a um, relatively new asset, new stock? Because I can't really find any good charts on it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. There we go. There we go. I was able to find it. There we go. Got it. Now I got it. There you go. Now I got the full chart. Let's go. Let's go. Uh, okay. All right. Now I got the full data here. Let me get a range. Oh, we've been going sideways for some time now. Let's get the 2025 range here. All right, I'm charting out Vinci for you right now. You guys can also drop stocks if you want to. That's perfectly fine. Just charting it out here real quick. Give me a second. Make sure you guys are tapping those likes in the meantime. Tap those likes, guys. The likes are free. Do not be greedy with the likes. The likes are free. They don't cost you anything, but they greatly help the show. So definitely greatly appreciate everybody smashing those likes while I'm charting out Vinci, a stock here for one of our fellow watchers. I appreciate you dropping a stock too, man. Not a lot of people drop stocks, man. It's always exciting to go over stocks, but nobody ever wants to. Nobody ever wants to talk stocks. Almost done. All right, cool. Here you go. So Vinci is currently sitting at $28.98. We are below the yearly range. We have created a little bit of what looks like a double bottom here, or an inverse head and shoulders pattern to the downside. We're trying to break up right now, pushing up higher. We need to get above $29.87. Getting above $29.87 puts us back in the yearly range of 2025, with its main targets being 30.94 to 32.56 to the upside. Those are the main targets to the upside. Now, to the downside, we're looking at, if we start to break the regional support here around $27.46, we are looking for 27.08 to 26.63 before potentially having a more drastic pullback, like, back in 2020. But so far, we've been ranging sideways here between $26 and around 34 to, yeah, about 34 to 40 bucks for the last 3 years, actually 4 years, since 2021. Well, actually 5 years now. Yeah, since 2021, we've been ranging at this price point. So if we see Vinci starting to get back above 29.87, we are most likely going to be running for that 30 to 32.56 targets to the upside. Mr. Slipper says, there he is again, Crusader. Good to see you, brother. Pays 6% dividend. Very nice. Very nice. Quant, we already covered Quant. Appreciate it here. Thoughts on MicroStrategy? Let's go take a look at MicroStrategy. Kind of boring for crypto people. Not gonna lie, yeah, stocks are definitely a little bit boring for crypto people. They're not as volatile, right? For sure, they're definitely not as volatile. Let's see here. Example, 98K is flipped to support. What is the possible time frame for crypto market peak and blow off top? That's hard to say when the blow off top will happen, but if we flip 98, and we will be targeting in the short term between 105 to 111 for Bitcoin. And then if we're going to run for an all-time high, I'll be targeting somewhere between 135 to around the 150. Time frame, kind of difficult to say, but definitely looking for something in this year. So let's go take a look at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy, not Michael's strategy, but just MicroStrategy, or actually they call themselves now Just Strategy. Right, Just Strategy. So let's get the 2025 yearly range here, something quick and easy. Not doing too much macro targeting here. Oops, what's going on? Come on, here we go. There we go, perfect. All right. Come on. There we go. Okay. Setting up MicroStrategy here as we speak. Make sure you guys are smashing those likes. We're looking at the MicroStrategy stock here. Appreciate everybody tapping those likes, hitting that subscribe. Don't be greedy with the likes, guys. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Let's get a local gold pocket here. All right, so very straightforward and easy here. MicroStrategy is currently sitting at 173. If we continue heading lower and we lose current support around the 148, our targets to the downside are between 113 to 102 for MicroStrategy. Now, targets to the upside, right? We need to get back into the 2025 yearly range to continue pushing up higher. We have our two initial targets to the upside, actually three targets, are 221 to 253. Those are some targets on the way up into the value area low of 2025. We do have a 382 fib at 268, which lines up right with the value area low of 2025. If we're able to flip 268, we will be targeting 334 to 349 for MicroStrategy here in as it enters back into the 2025 yearly range. Those are the targets to the upside. That is the gold pocket is at 349 from the 2025 highs to the current lows. The gold pocket is at 349. I appreciate everybody in here smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Make sure you guys are joining the Crypto Citadel if you haven't already. Use the code 99 to get $51 off every single monthly payment that you guys are in for the lifetime of your membership, keeping you guys in that 99 club, right? Costing $3 a day to be in there. $99 if you're not investing $99 into your own investing strategies and knowledge to be able to navigate these waters. Guys, you are costing yourself so much more money. Some people don't want to invest in themselves and they just want to blindly be an investor. They're more likely just gambling and degening and going off FOMO and hype, and you guys are going to end up getting wrecked. So please start learning how to read some charts so that you guys don't continue to get wrecked. Appreciate everybody here. What about XRP? Let's go take a look at it. Let's circle back to XRP here. Circling back to XRP, XRP is still doing its thing. Going down to the daily. Currently holding support here around 20. It's currently sitting at 207, holding the support line between 209 to 197. That has been the main support for XRP. XRP still in a major 6-month downtrend. Just made another lower high when we hit 241. We need to break that lower high structure. We need to break 241 to be able to run for 281. And then above that, we're looking at 309 to 366 for XRP. But if XRP does not do that because Bitcoin decides to pull back, gets rejected at 98,000, and Bitcoin starts dumping towards that 80 to 67,000, I do expect XRP to follow along with every other altcoin, and we're looking at 177 to 113 to the downside for XRP if Bitcoin pulls back. Not gonna lie, diehard XRP, but I gave up on XRP. Glad I sold at $3. Let's go, Unrivaled. Let's go, bro. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. You can be very bullish on anything and you can be very bullish on the community and like the project and whatever. But man, do the math, do the analysis, do the logical thing. Don't drink the Kool-Aid thinking that we're just going to go higher forever. We went up to 366 and since then it's been nothing but lower highs for XRP, giving you a great opportunity to sell above $3 and wait for better price action. You want to buy back in later at a lower price and cash in those profits, man. But nobody wants to take profits. They want to hold forever. The same thing's going to happen with silver, right? All these silver people now coming out of woodwork trying to buy up as much silver as they can because they think it's going to go to $1,000. They think it's going to go to the moon forever, are going to get wrecked. They're going to get wrecked. So glad you sold your XRP. Glad you took some profits off the table. When the opportunity presents itself, you can get back into XRP or any other asset. The name of the game is to make more profits. Make more profits every single time, right? Cash out those profits. I believe copper is gonna pop soon. What do you think? Copper has been popping. Copper is at all-time highs, man. Copper is at all-time highs. Let's go take a look at copper real quick. Where are we? Where the heck's my copper chart? Copper, where are you? All right, so copper is currently, we hit as high as $6.17, which is, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's a very nice all-time high. The last time we were this high was back in July of 2025, and then copper took a massive hit, falling from $5.98 all the way down to $4.39 before pushing back up higher now. So copper here has definitely been making some moves. All right. So we get some fib extensions here. Get it from this low to this high. Gold pocket for copper was front ran by a few cents. We came up to 617. Gold pocket is at 626 before pulling back. We have a 1-to-1 target up at 726, right, for copper, and then we have a 1.65 gold pocket all the way up at $9.11 for copper. So copper has been definitely making higher highs, has had a very nice range of movement to the upside, going very parabolic here in the last, 2 years, 2 years, a year and a half, very parabolic, but very volatile, has very sharp inclines and then very sharp declines straight back down. So unlike the other metals that's, steadily been climbing up, it climbs up steadily and then it just dumps real quick, and then it climbs up steadily and then it dumps real quick. So be very careful with copper. I believe it could pop more than it's completely off the tables with pennies. That is true. There are no more pennies. There are no more pennies. Do you think silver is overvalued? So guys, when it comes to silver, I understand the supply constraints happening, right? Can it go higher? Absolutely. We talked about targets as high as 135 to 167 for silver. But people that are buying spot silver, if you're trading silver futures, fantastic. Go make that money. Open those longs, do whatever you're doing, right? Make money. I'm all for people making money, but people that are buying spot silver right now are most likely going to get wrecked, because if you're buying at 90, right, with all this silver supply shortage or whatever, they're charging you premiums. They're not going to sell it to you spot. They're going to charge you premiums, and then when you try to sell it back to them, they're going to sell you. They're not going to buy it at spot price. They're going to buy it at discounted prices from you. And the people that are buying at $90 right now are looking to sell their silver at 200 plus, right? They're looking to at least double up or more for their silver, right? They're looking for very ridiculous numbers of silver price. Maybe they're right, but the odds of them being right, I think, is very, very low. So that makes it a very high risk trade for a spot hold to buy a bunch of silver, because most people that are buying silver right now are not looking at charts and saying, well, if we start dropping below 85 to $83 and start closing some dailies to weeklies below that, it looks like silver might have topped and we could be dumping for the next 10 years, right? Hey, we're reaching 135 to 167, which is a 1-to-1 Fibonacci extension, which could lead to a potential top and being overvalued and eventually get overbought and get sold off. Nope, nobody's looking at that. People are just looking for higher, 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 making it a degen move. So if anybody's getting into silver now, yes, there is still room for some more upside. Those were my videos about silver have been about, saying, warning people that a top is coming, that a top is near. Not that the top is in right now, but that if you are buying right now, if you're buying silver, you have to be very aware that you have to be aggressive on taking profits. If you're not aggressive on taking profits, you don't have a game plan, a certain price point, you're not analyzing data, you're not analyzing the charts, you're not looking at market structure for silver, you're just going based off headlines and how crazy all the shortages and how all the repricing is going to happen, all the great things that you want to hear, right? And giving you all the good news, but none of the bad news, you're going to get caught and you're going to, you're going to get wrecked. Appreciate everybody in here. what about a long time hold? Gold better? So gold is also approaching, very critical levels. Can gold go higher? Absolutely. Gold is currently sitting at what, 4600, 4600 ish area? Yeah, 46, 4596 to be exact. Gold has targets that I'm looking at up to as high as 55 to $5600 for gold. That means another $1,000. Um, well, not about another 500 to $600. Sorry, we're at 4,500 now, 5,000. So yes, we're looking at another $1,000 to the upside for gold. Just like we're looking for Bitcoin to potentially make another high around the 130 to 150, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be holding gold for the long term. If gold were to reach those levels of 5,000 to 5,500, I would be looking to take profits on my gold. If silver starts getting close above 113, running for that 135 to 160, I will be looking to take profits. If Bitcoin starts pumping above 126 and starts running for that 135 to 150, I would be looking to take profits. The name of the game is to buy low, sell high. But if you just buy low and you never sell, where are your profits? Where's your portfolio? Where's your wealth? Why are you going to be willing to write it down to oblivion again and again and again and again and again? It's that simple. Pablo Navarro, what's going on? Says Crusader on another subject. What are your thoughts on the AI narrative for coins like Eagle AI? I don't know anything about Eagle AI specifically. AI is always going to be a hot topic. It's a hot topic today with just the technology. It's always going to be a hot topic when it comes to the different crypto coins that come out. I personally am invested in BitTensor Tau. I like Render as well. Render is one of those long shots for me that I don't know if they're gonna have any all-time highs, but at least a push maybe to $5, maybe $8. I'd be drastically happy with. Not saying that we will hit those targets, but um, you know, AI is always gonna be a hot topic. Is AI going into a bubble? Most likely. Most likely, we're going to a bubble. Every single AI company out here now is being valued at over $1 billion market. Oh, the new AI coin, a new AI company, $1 billion. New AI company, $1 billion. We're gonna change the world, change the world. At some point, it's gonna be just like the dot-com bubble, right? Like I said, all-time highs for gold, silver, stock market, real estate. Everything is at all-time highs. U.S. debt, household debt, everything's at all-time highs. AI narrative, all-time highs. Overvalued companies left and right. Every company, like I was just looking at one. You have Claude, that's a company by Anthropic, and then there's companies building AI on top of that AI, on top of that AI, on top of that AI. It's just stacking layers of AI on top of AI, and then be calling themselves a new company, and getting a whole massive valuation for it. So at some point, all of that's going to come crashing down, and get wrecked. I do think that the everything bubble is approaching. Doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. Doesn't mean it's going to happen next year. But within the next 4 to 5 years, I definitely think there's going to be a big hard reset on everything. On everything. So I appreciate everybody in here. I appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Make sure you are joining the Crypto Citadel, my private trading community. If you need the link to it, the link, if you're on TikTok, is over on my profile. If you're on YouTube, it's in the description of the video. If not, I can actually I can't drop it into the chat. But actually no, yes I can. I could drop it into the chat. Give me one quick second, my friends, and I will drop it into the chat for you guys. So I will drop the link into the chat for you guys here over on the YouTubes so that you guys can go join the Crypto Citadel. Use the code 99. Use the code 99 to get $51 off every single month of your monthly payment, locking you into the $99 club. $99 club, guys. So make sure you're using that link and locking in, and you get access to all my long-term analysis, crypto, stocks, gold, silver, day trades, signals, trading and trading course, absolutely everything and everything. And if you just want to learn, whether you just want to read the data, you can just tag me at any moment in time, request absolutely anything you want, and as you request any altcoin, any asset, gold, stock, silver, whatever, I will make that analysis for you, so you can you guys can read all the data you need. Great info in line always. Appreciate that, Pablo. Appreciate everybody in here. What are your thoughts about the economy collapse and dollar losing value? So yes, the dollar is losing value. We've known this since ever, right? Since 1971, and since the Fed was created back in 1913, the dollar has been losing value, value. After 1971, obviously it was even more accelerated once the dollar got off the gold standard, and it's just been a massive acceleration with debt increasing in the United States. Everything is based off debt now. We live in a debt society. Debt is credit, right? The more debt, the more credit you get. Like, it's just one of those wild upside down economical times that makes absolutely no sense. There's only so much you can kick the can down the road until everything collapses. So, like I said, I do believe there will be another collapse at some point. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't want to see a collapse. I don't want to go through those times, because it's very easy to say, oh, there's going to be a Great Depression 2.0. That's great. We're all going to get rich, guys. We're all going to get rich. We're going to have this massive rally. We're going to sell the top. The entire world is going to implode. Everything is going to crash. And we're going to sell. We're going to have all this cash. But guess what, guys? The reality is people are going to be starving. People are going to be out of jobs. People are going to be homeless. People, as unemployment goes up, people start getting deleted, right? People start getting deleted, and they start deleting themselves. So it is definitely a very difficult time. Nobody wants to be and go through a Great Depression. Nobody wants to go through a Great Depression 2.0 in today's society, right? People today are not prepared for that level of hardship in their lives. So yes, the US dollar is devaluing. It will continue to devalue. At some point, the economy has to collapse. There has to be a reset of some kind, whether it's a controlled collapse, right? That is navigated so that we can reset, or it's an absolute chaotic, just came out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting it, because obviously everybody that's driving the ship is not paying attention, and they just keep kicking the can down the road, hoping it doesn't happen today until the landmine goes off. That's the worst case scenario. It's going to be very ugly. It's going to be very ugly, and everything's going to crash. Gold and silver isn't going to skyrocket. Bitcoin isn't going to skyrocket. Everything is going to crash. The everything bubble includes everything, because people will have no money, and people will have to sell all their assets, right, to be able to sustain themselves when they have no money, when they have no house, when they have no food, when they have nothing, right? But they have no job, because guess what? AI is coming to take over all your jobs. So I appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. We can definitely talk more about the economical collapse and the dollar losing value. I love talking about this topic, but it is definitely a hard topic to understand for a lot of people, and what it truly means. Um, So when is it going to happen? I realistically think somewhere between the next 4 to 5 years. 4 to 5 years, maybe 6 years, but somewhere between now and 2032, I think is when it all goes down, and it can happen somewhere in between there. There's a massive silver short, and regulations put on paper, contracts. Learn what you talk about. I am aware of what you're talking about. That doesn't mean that silver is going to go to the moon forever. There will always be sellers of silver. People, hedge funds, everything that have been stacking silver way longer than you, at way larger quantities than you, will always take profits. There will always be shorters, and there will always be longers. So it's only a matter of time before, right now we're having a short squeeze, and the longs are in play, and silver can keep going higher. Like I said earlier, we got targets. We're looking at 113 to about 167 for targets to the upside for silver. Fantastic. But it won't go up forever. It won't go up forever. So appreciate every single one of you guys in here. I hope all of you guys are taking advantage of the code 99 to join the Crypto Citadel. Join the Crypto Citadel to get access to all my analysis, whether it's on stocks, crypto, gold, silver, anything else. Make sure you want to start learning how to day trade. Everything is in the Crypto Citadel. Make sure you're investing in your own knowledge, investing in your own mental state, guys. If you guys are not investing in yourselves, you guys are just gambling out there. and you guys can lock in the 99 Club right now. Literally, it's going to cost you $3 a day, $99 a month. You get $51 off every single month of the lifetime of your membership with the code 99. With the code 99. If you do not have $99 a month to invest in your own knowledge, to analyze data, to be able to grow your portfolio and be better at investing, you do not have enough money to be an investor in general. Point blank, period. It's not for everybody. That's okay. But let's be real. If you do not have $99 to invest in your own business, in your own portfolio, in your own access to information, you should not be investing, period. So I appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Appreciate all of you guys hanging out. And I'll see all of you guys in the Crypto Citadel. The link is in the chat for YouTube. The link is in the script in the profile over on TikTok. Use the code 99. Sign up now and lock in at 99 tier for the rest of your memberships. So guys, like always, I'm Blockchain Crusader, Crusading these blockchains, and I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.